Silfab needs to shut down permanently. Silfab is a heavy industrial operation in a light industrial zone. They're not zoned properly. They're unlawful to be here, and we're not going to stop until they completely get shut down and moved to a properly zoned location.
As you heard, calls go on tonight for the Silfab Solar plant in Fort Mill to close its doors for good.
And late tonight, we have learned Silfab has restarted some operations after closing amid a second chemical incident last week. The South Carolina Department of Environmental Services and EPA gave the green light this evening for operations that don't involve federally monitored chemicals after investigating the facility. And we are also learning class will be back in session again tomorrow after it returned today at nearby Flint Hill Elementary School.
Now, the school is just hundreds of yards from the facility. WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay is in Fort Mill after speaking with residents who are still concerned.
Tonight's report says a tank containing hydrogen fluoride is still slowly dripping, but they've neutralized it, and Silfab has begun the work to empty that container. But I spoke to people in this area who say they're just worried about what happens next. After a chemical spill, a leak, and now an investigation.
So I changed my mind about it since they had that 2 leaks.
Fort Mill residents say their fears have all but dried up.
The takeaway is that we're just afraid.
Joyce Cordell says she's not happy that they're reopening so soon, despite the South Carolina DES observing no indication that assembly operations should remain paused. She lives right nearby both the plant and Flint Hill Elementary School.
For the young kids and the parents, it's just terrible. I don't know why they even passed that to come into York County.
The school reopened Monday after being closed both Thursday and Friday due to the back-to-back chemical incidents less than a mile away. The first came Tuesday, a spill of 300 gallons of water containing potassium hydroxide. Just 2 days later, a slow drip leak of hydrofluoric acid, a more dangerous chemical. The South Carolina DES says Silfab only recently bought this chemical and will halt operations with it until they hire a qualified professional engineer with expertise in leaks and, quote, notify the department as soon as reasonably possible of any future leaks.
Move, that's what I would do. I'd take my kids and move.
But no drip of information would be enough to calm some residents' fears.
It's just horrible, and I don't know why they picked us.
For now, Flint Hill will remain in person. In Fort Mill, Julie Kay, WCNC Charlotte.
And tonight, the South Carolina Department of Environmental Services is also shining light on what operations specifically have resumed at the Silfab facility.
Yeah, the department says after their initial assessment today, they received no indication that assembly operations at Silfab would remain paused. Their assembly operations, which have been underway for the past 6 months, they are back online tonight. Now, those do not involve the use of chemicals regulated under the Environmental Protection Agency's risk management program.
And we're told manufacturing operations will remain paused until further assessment. Officials say Silfab will continue to halt those until they meet several requirements. Those include retaining an engineer with expertise evaluating systems and equipment leaks, as Julie mentioned. Of course, we've been following the very latest on this developing situation throughout the night over on our streaming platform, WCNC Plus. That's where we broke some of the news this evening with the reopening of the facility. Make sure you add us wherever you like to stream and keep us on all day.